Good morning. Given that the theme for this week is online health and safety, and next Tuesday is Safer Internet Day, I'm going to talk a little about safety online, but in a much broader sense. Not how we as individuals can look after ourselves, but how society as a whole should be thinking about technology and its impact on our lives. Algorithms are a set of step-by-step instructions to solve a given problem, and whilst a lot of them have their basis in mathematics, even a pictorial representation of how to erect a piece of flat-pack furniture or a recipe for cakes is an algorithm. However, when most people think about algorithms, they're considering them in terms of computers. And in this instance, we can think of them as the invisible pieces of code that form the gears and cogs of the modern machine age. There are many different functions and types of algorithms. For example, sort algorithms, as they suggest, allow you to put items into order, while search algorithms let you choose an item or subset of items from a larger group. Page ranking algorithms, such as those used by Google, decide what to show you when you do a search, ranked by looking at the lists made from other sites to that page and the importance of the site that is linking to it. Matching algorithms look at the characteristics of two sets of data and find a matching pair. These are often used by dating agencies, but can also be used to match students to schools based on their application choices and the popularity of the establishments, or for medical uses, such as the UK algorithm to match donors with people needing kidney transplants.
Without us noticing, modern life has been taken over. As we search for love, shop online, travel the world, even as we save lives, there are step-by-step instructions working quietly behind the scenes.
If you are interested in learning more about algorithms, this is a good starting video, a good introductory video made by the BBC and the Open University documentary, also available on YouTube. It shows some fantastic algorithms out there and the way that they enhance lives. Okay, so far so good, but what does this have to do with safety? How many of you watched the recent documentary, Is TikTok Safe? One of the concerns this programme raised was about the algorithms they use to decide which clips to show you. They make use of matching algorithms to search and show you content similar to that which you've seen before. But to keep it fresh, the algorithm throws in some random new content on your For You page on a semi-regular basis. It measures how long you spend on a clip, which may be only long enough to decide it's not for you, and then uses its algorithm to generate more of the same. So if you receive one unsuitable or inappropriate video that you allow to run even for a few seconds before swiping, you will receive more of them. Or what about the algorithms within Siri or Alexa that are in a continual watchful, or should that be listenful, state waiting for a keyword ready to respond to you? Siri uses speech recognition and natural language processing algorithms, trained by sampling conversations to recognize different voices, accents, and inflections. While Apple claims that only 1% of its anonymized recorded conversations are used for training Siri, 1% of more than 500 million Siri-enabled devices soon adds up. Many people have stories of something that they have been talking about coming up in an ad online. However, the voice assistant companies deny they are listening in. Given that the algorithms behind the products are never made publicly available, it's hard to know the truth. So one of the biggest problems about algorithms is their secrecy. Understandably, a company doesn't want competitors to know how their algorithm works. However, this means that only the company itself is able to regulate the algorithm, to check its accuracy, and to ensure it removes any bias. A good example of a secret, inaccurate algorithm is that of the Medicaid benefit system in Idaho, USA. In 2012, benefits were cut to a large swathe of disabled recipients, in some cases reducing them by up to 30%. When individuals asked to see how their benefits had been calculated, they were told that the software assessing their cases was a trade secret and couldn't be shared. When challenged under a class action, however, it turned out that the calculations were full of bugs and errors, and in many cases were just producing a random benefit amount. However, the company had accepted that the benefits calculated by the software must be correct because the computer said so. Another true story you may have previously heard is that of the father who found out his teenage daughter was pregnant because she began to receive promotional coupons for baby products at the local superstore. The algorithms used by the supermarket chain had calculated that she was pregnant based on the data they had stored about purchases she'd made in the first months of her pregnancy. And despite her father's insistence to the company that they were wrong, turns out they weren't. However, what you may not have heard is that since supermarkets began realizing that their algorithms often told them more about family members from their purchases than was known to other people in the family itself, they have got more devious about their mailings. Instead of sending a mum-to-be lots of coupons for baby products, they mix them in with other items to make it seem more random. If customers challenge the odd coupons or ads that they're receiving, they will diplomatically agree that it must be due to corrupted data. Now, supermarkets have lots of data about you based on your shopping habits. How much more do Google have based on your search history, or Facebook have based on your social interaction with others? Eric Schmidt, who was the CEO and then executive chairman of Google between 2011 and 2015, admitted in 2013 that Google policy is to get right up to the creepy line and not cross it.
A little bit. There's what I call the creepy line, and the Google policy about a lot of these things is to get right up to the creepy line but not cross it. I would argue that implanting things in your brain is beyond the creepy line.
Mine in particular.
Yes, at least for the moment, until the technology gets better. So one of the things that eventually happens in that line of reasoning is we don't need you to type at all, because we know where you are with your permission. We know where you've been with your permission. We can more or less guess what you're thinking about. Now, is that over the line? Is that right over the line?
We should take a vote.
Is that right over the line?
It's getting
okay, well,
close,
so maybe our guesses won't be very good. Maybe we'll limit those. You see what I'm saying? So we'll try to find that line to try to help you understand more about the world around you.
And if you want to know more about the creepy line, there is a 2018 film called The Creepy Line, based on this quote, which talks at whether Google and Facebook have indeed crossed this creepy line. It's worth a watch, but you do need to think about the bias of the people producing the film. And bias is one of the big issues with algorithms themselves. For example, algorithms used in the justice process will use historical data to calculate the sentences to hand out, whether a prisoner is likely to reoffend, whether they should get parole or not. And since historically, Black defendants in the US on average will go to prison for longer, less likely to be awarded bail, and more likely to be given the death penalty, then using this data as the basis of an algorithm could mean making the same prejudice being built into the outcomes of future judgments using the computerized system. This bias is clearly not so much in the algorithm itself, but in the data that is being fed into it. But this is not always the case. Take the scenario of driverless cars. A lot of work has gone into ensuring that a car can recognize its surrounding, knowing when it's on the road, even if the road bends, turns, narrows, or changes surface type. This is achieved by feeding the results of GPS, camera, and laser feeds to the central system of the car, which uses the algorithms to determine that it's on the right track. However, the bias starts to creep in when you consider the safety elements of driving. What if for some reason your car was unable to stop and you know you were going to crash? Would you be self-sacrificing and hit a wall to avoid killing pedestrians? Self-driving cars need an algorithm that tells them how to behave in hundreds of potential situations, and that algorithm needs to be programmed, probably by a team of programmers, but all with their own biases. Who decides how the car should act? Obviously, that algorithm would try to avoid collisions where possible, but what if that isn't possible? If there are two pedestrians in the way and the car can swerve to avoid one of them, which one should it choose? Take a look at the moral machine to find out where your own morals lie. So this morning, I've touched upon just some of the questions and issues involving algorithms and the safety of technology, and I hope that you might be encouraged to explore some of these ideas in more depth. Always think about what online sites you are signing up to, who you are giving your data to, and what privacy settings you are choosing, and what cookies they might be collecting. Then consider how algorithms are pulling this data from different sources and what the joined up picture of your data can tell someone about you. And secondly, looking at the bigger picture, should we as individuals be more concerned about who is making the enormous decisions for us about the algorithms that impact on all our lives? Should we be allowing large multinational companies rather than elected officials to make those decisions on our behalf? Should the algorithms behind the internet and technology be regulated? There are lots of moral and ethical issues to be explored with regards to algorithms, and I've included links to many this morning. Another starting point is an excellent book by Hannah Fry called Hello World, but there are plenty of other ethics books if you just take a search online. So I hope that this will have whetted your appetite a little to take some more thought about it, but hope you have a very good day. Thank you. Bye.